What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a preview, another preview. It's going fast right now. It only feels yesterday like we finally won a game. But yeah, after beating Milan, it's back to the Champions League. 2 games left. We haven't qualified. If you need to, believe the how do you want to call it, the stats, the percentage of us getting into the next round, they're extremely high. However, we're not qualified. I think a win will do the trick tomorrow. I'm not even sure about that as well. Even if I'm not sure, we do need to beat Bruges away from home, especially after finally winning a game in the league. We need to build up some sort of momentum because it's good that you beat Milan. You need to beat that Milan at home always. But yeah, we should have beaten a lot of teams this season, and we didn't do that. And beating Milan means nothing if you go back to drawing or actually start losing games right now. Then that Milan game result, whatever performance, individual performance, team performance, is null and void. It means nothing. So that is kind of what we need to do tomorrow. Before we get into tomorrow, because the presser Motta and Cold Miners did was actually very boring. I'm not gonna lie. It was very quick. It was not insightful at all, which usually happens when you go into a Champions League game. The questions that they get asked are very standard, like questions you don't get any information out of those questions. It's kind of weird, the vibe in Champions League pressers, especially away from home. But we'll keep that for a bit later in the show. Let's talk about transfers, because another day passed and again nothing happened. Only talks happened, and Giuntoli is holding talks for ages. I think the bill for the restaurants, with all the talks he's been holding with all these agents and clubs, is going to be more than the players we will actually buy, because apparently he's in talks with Chelsea right now for Renato Vega, and with Newcastle for Kelly as well. And that was basically the story of the day. And, some Douglas Luiz rumors onto it, and that was kind of a wrap, So kind of nothing worthy of mentioning, to be honest. Besides that, right now, at this moment in time, whatever happens, and you don't need to take my word of it, just look at how January went, look at the players we targeted a couple of weeks ago and the players we're targeting right now, and also the type of deals we want, for the players we're targeting right now. Whatever is happening right now, the club doesn't really believe in. That's just what it is. And it feels like Alcaraz type of signings where you're just bringing in the players just to have the players, just in case somebody gets injured, just in case you're actually that desperate that you need to start playing one of these guys because you have no players other. You don't have any players left to play anymore. That's what it is right now. That's the situation, because there's no chance Lloyd Kelly was even remotely a target January 1st. That cannot be. Or like I'm hoping, actually praying and wishing that was never the target January 1st. Otherwise it's even worse than I could have imagined. But right now the players we're getting in, they're not really there to actually improve us at all. Like, they're not there to make us forget for a couple of months that Bremer got injured. The players we're signing right now, or potentially trying to sign right now, are not those type of players, because Kelly will not come close to Bremer, obviously. And Vega is more of a project. Will it work out? Will it not work out? He's versatile. So, is he going to come on to strictly play center back? The players we're bringing in right now, it's just a purple patch. And how sad it is, he failed already. He absolutely failed Giuntoli. And I see people keep denying it, oh, there's 2 weeks left. Like, he failed. Like, look at the names we're looking at. Look at the time it took to come up with the lowest of the lowest type of names that nobody wants, not even us. Let's be completely honest. Not even Giuntoli wants them, but he has no choice because Motta needs just players. He needs players in positions, So he already failed. Whatever happens, it's a complete flop this January. But I'm at a point where I'm like, yeah, take the L, Giuntoli, but do not waste more money than needed whilst you're taking that out. That's all I'm saying right now, because it is a very sad reality. Like, it is just sad, it, like, I don't think even the most optimistic fan can, find a way to talk getting Lloyd Kelly on whatever type of deal is a positive. I don't think nobody can spin that. If you can spin that, then you're a better person than me. Then you're very happy with what's happening at the club, which is not, ideal for you, because you're kind of blind to the situation. And the situation is that he failed, and that's it. So we just need to hope Kalula and Gatti stay fit. That's what we're gonna need to do right now, because that's the situation. So nothing really happened today. And I'm not sure anything will happen tomorrow, because we play, obviously. So let's see how long it will take actually to do anything at this stage. But I'm not even too fussed about it anymore. I was a bit pissed, or like I was like, do something when we were linked with some type of players a couple of weeks ago. But now it's very clear what we're trying to do, with the last couple of days in these windows, and that's not to improve the squad at the back. It's just to get players in, and that's it. There's no improvement or no proof that there will be any sort of improvement based on what the players showed in their respective clubs or in their careers or whatever. Like Vega, you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get with Kelly. It's just an okay defender who's very injury prone. So I mean, there's no way that was the idea start of January. So that's that. Douglas Luiz, there's some news on Douglas Luiz which you can throw away out of right now. I've seen the Sky reports news. City won. Douglas Luiz, you open the story on loan, you close the story, and you move on, because that's not happening. We're not loaning out Douglas Luiz without an option, whatever. So that's absolutely not happened. So unless that type of news changes, or unless Man City stands turns into we'll put an obligation in there, you need to throw that away as well, because it's completely pointless. I saw some reports about Fagioli and Napoli, and I mean that's ignore it at this moment in time. Just ignore that, because it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So incomings, outgoings, absolutely no real updates. That's the reality at this moment in time. So let's move on to tomorrow's game. Like I said, we need a winning streak. Does anyone know how many points we actually need to mathematically qualify for the Champions League? I'm not sure. Maybe a point. I have no idea, to be honest. We just need to win. It's not going to be easy tomorrow. Like, you need to beat Bruges. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, you need to beat them. That's that. However, I watch the Belgian League every single week. Literally, I do watch the Belgian League every single week. Like I said, building up to this game, they're no mugs. They do play good football. They do make it hard. They can be very physical. They're fast. They're openish. Like they try to play good football, and actually they do play good football as well. It's not easy to play at that stadium, and you will see tomorrow why I don't think it's easy. It looks very compact. There's not a lot of room to play football. It will be contested. The pitch is not great as well. But they're a team they will push. They will push, and I think they don't really have anything to. I know they can qualify, and they probably will qualify as well. Or they play us, and they play Man City. So I mean, maybe they will look at it and they're like, what, a point is good because we still need to play Man City. But I think they will go for it. Listening to the presser as well, I think they will just go for it tomorrow, because we will go for it. I think that's what their coach as well said in the presser, saying that that we start off by putting pressure on teams, that we try to go 1-0 up and then see it out. Only he forgot to mention that usually we don't see it out, and people indeed do hit the like button and subscribe. But it's not going to be easy tomorrow. It's like you're going to need to play a technical, very good game. Going behind is not fun over there. It's not fun. It will get hot in there. It can get hot in there, and you just need to be ready. I've watched I've watched him play over the last couple of weeks more often because I don't watch Bruges every single week. It's probably a week yes, a week no. When it's on, when I'm home, I put it on. But I watched the last couple of games and they're on fire. They're on hot form, and they find the back of the net easy. They create a lot of chances, a lot of them. They miss a lot of chances as well. But yeah, they will be ready for it tomorrow. They're not gonna just lay down for us, bound down, and say beat us and get away. Also, we're not a team right now who just goes to teams or play teams at home and just beat them easily. We just got our first win in about 8 or 2 wins out of 8. So we're not that team as well. So it's gonna be interesting tomorrow. But yeah, Koopmeiners spoke, Emota spoke. I'll say it again. It's a very boring presser. There is no real information coming out of that. It's very box standard, but it is what it is. Koopman is saying that the last game went well, even though we know there's always something we can improve on. We got more confidence with the win over Milan. We still need to get to know each other better. We still have to learn in every game. It's important to work hard in training, to work on these automatic connections between us. I'm one of the players with the most experience in the side, so I want to use that to help my teammates. The last one went well, fine, and that's true. However, like I said, it's one game. It's one game, and I predicted a win against Milan because I don't think Milan are good, despite people trying to tell you because they won a Super Cup and everybody had eyes and saw how they won the Super Cup, but they're not a good team, and we should beat Milan at home, and we did that, and we deserve to win. But the issue is, I think, and maybe the confidence is good. Maybe they have confidence, and they will push for it. And maybe they needed that Milan win to get over that hump, basically, to say, okay, we actually dominate a game and we go 1-0 up and we see out the game. Maybe that's what they needed. I don't know. However, there's no proof out there. So they can say it. Tomorrow they're going to need to show. Because if you don't win tomorrow, we know what's going to happen. We know what the talk is going to be because you have Napoli on Saturday and you need to build some sort of momentum. You really do need to build. You cannot go into the Napoli game with a loss or another draw. You just can't. You need to have that positivity brewing up in that squad because Napoli will be ready as well, as will Bruges tomorrow, because they've seen us. Like, if you obviously you're not reading the Belgian press, I do. They're not scared. They're actually saying they have a very good shot, a fair shot to winning. I was watching that Milan game on the Belgian network, and they were saying the same thing, that this Bruges team is not going to be scared of this Juve team because they are not top, and they beat better teams, and that's it. That's the way. Let me check up the result from Bruges in the Champions League, because give me one sec. Because I want. Oh my god. 20. No, that's not okay. Here we go. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. They beat Sporting at home. They drew Celtic away from home. They beat Aston Villa at home. That was a ridiculous goal, by the way. They lost away to Milan. They won at Sturm Graz. They lost at Dortmund. But actually, that Dortmund game at home, they should have been up 2-0 before actually Dortmund got a goal. That was actually ridiculous. But yeah, they make it very difficult. They make it extremely difficult for a lot of teams. They do, and then again, winning against Milan is fine, but if tomorrow you come out and you're not ready and you lose again, then all that is for nothing and it's back to square one. Or this doesn't work and that doesn't work, and you know how it goes. We all know how this goes. With the experience, he is one of the most experienced players. However, the performances have not been up to par. They've not shown that, so that's on him. Like that, nobody can change. That's not something Mota can coach into. You are an experienced player. You should be leading, and that's only on you. That's you, not Mota, not the team, whatever. That's just you. So yeah. Let me see. You never know when Stuttgart 2.0 will happen to us. We are capable of being dominated by mediocre teams. We are, but it didn't really happen often this season. But you might be right, I won't be mad with a draw tomorrow if we get something against Napoli. I will be pissed if we draw tomorrow. I really will. We cannot. We need to win tomorrow, and that's not me saying it because otherwise we will not qualify. well, potentially you could fail to qualify. However, we need a winning streak, and winning streak for me is not win, draw, win, draw, win, like win, win, win. That's a winning streak, and we desperately need that. We really need that. Um, Especially if we don't win tomorrow, the Benfica game is gonna be. If we don't win tomorrow, the Benfica game is gonna be useless. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I think you mean if we win tomorrow, that game might be useless. If we don't win tomorrow, that Benfica game, um, we desperately need we need to beat Benfica. You know. Thanks for joining, Juventus Calcio. You're subscribing. Otherwise, you could not comment, and you're in the comments, so that tells me more about your sad life. To be here. Forget the table. If you play Stuttgart, we might get dominated again. They had a bad spell, but they're back. I haven't watched Stuttgart, but they had a number. They absolutely dominated us from minute 1 to minute 90. That was absolutely insane. That was actually insane. That game was, yeah, man. That was over 3 years, over 4 years. That's probably one of those games you remember that you got absolutely dominated, and you come out of that game and you're like, we had absolutely nothing, like actually nothing. We couldn't do anything, you know, we couldn't lay a glove on that Stuttgart team that day. That was just insane, like actually insane. We got absolutely schooled on every single level that day. So that was crazy. Let me block this guy. Oh no, I cannot do that. So you're lucky I cannot do that right now. 1 sec. Give me 1 sec, people. Here we go. One sec. Okay. We need 2 wins to reach top 8. We are fine with 0 points for. Are we fine? Are we 100% fine? If we don't win, if we get 0 points out of, is it that mathematically correct? I'm not sure about that, to be honest. Let me get the chat back in. I'm not sure. I think we needed I think we needed any points right now. I think we needed some points to actually seal the deal tomorrow, but I could be wrong. Bruges at home can get result against any big teams. PSG, for example, last season they have some nice pieces. I've seen them play as well. Not going to be easy. Yeah, I've watched them play. Like, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a tough game. One is an absolute win is an absolute must tomorrow, and it will mean much more than just the 3 points. Yeah, I think winning tomorrow is, obviously the 3 points and so on, but it's just momentum. Like, we need momentum. You know, if you come off that, the players are saying it. That's what we needed yesterday or Saturday post game. Said, yeah, we got it over the hump. Finally, we got over the line. Okay, then you need that win tomorrow to keep that good feel factor and move into the Napoli game and whatever comes after Napoli. I'm not sure which game. I think it's Empoli. That comes after that, you know, in the league. But yeah, you need to build momentum. Even if that game was meaningless tomorrow, let's say we already were qualified and what's one, I still needed that win. You know, we still need to build that momentum. I think Motto will continue with Nico in place of Vlahovic. We'll talk about that in a second. I want us to get a result against Napoli more than tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. Can win both games. Why not? Okay, this Olsen, their best player, should be easier. He's not his best player. He's definitely not their best player. Absolutely not. Like, it's not even close to being their best player. And actually, just look up the reaction of Bruges fans. That's if we sell, I don't know, if we sell Arthur finally, I don't know. Like, he's not good, Olsen. Okay, let's move on to what Mota had to say. Again, not much, but it is what it is. Let me bring it up. Here we go. He said Bruges are a good side. They're tough to face. We all know we have to give our all to win, like box standard. He said our objective is to put in a good performance tomorrow and win against a team that is doing well and are very well organized. That's a fact. They are very well organized. Even though I think they leave some space because they like to attack and they're vulnerable at the back, in my opinion. How we will line up and attack depends on the games and the players' form. We're growing, but not just in the last few games. Of course, the win in the league gives us even more energy. My expectation is that we will go out there tomorrow and just try to play our game. Play attacking football or like try to keep possession, try to claim the ball, and try to do our own thing. However, for once, even though it's very standard to say and it's very easy to say, you always hear like technically we need to play a good game. Technically, you absolutely need to play a good game tomorrow. You 100% need to play a good game, because I've seen Bruges games where an opponents lose possessions and in a split second it's in the back of the net. It goes that fast at times. You cannot start losing random balls in midfield. It's gonna cost you. It's really gonna cost you tomorrow. I'm 100% convinced about that. So that cannot happen tomorrow. I think against Milan, technically, we played a good game. The only thing, or the only moments, areas where we messed up was in and around the box, especially in that first half. We made too many wrong decisions. In midfield, I think we played a very clean game. Like, if you look back at other games, it was a very clean game. It was a very clean game. So that needs to happen tomorrow 100%. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long night. I hope our mentality will be in order. It's all oh my god, I'm gonna butcher that. Against a weaker on paper team. Yeah, I mean, I think if I need to ask you guys in the chat, how many people are more confident if we play Real Madrid at home rather than, I don't know, name the team, Cagliari at home. We play Cagliari, but you know what I mean. I think everybody is more of the opinion that if we play a better side, quote unquote, on paper or what's on, we play better football. We are more focused and sharp. And if you look at the results, it kind of suggests that. Our best report, like, we played Inter. You had a bad moment in that game, but still, you scored 4 goals, so you didn't really look out of place. Milan, Lazio, like, you don't look out of place in these type of games, However, the result against these weaker teams, that's where we looked out of place. Bologna, we looked out of place, in my opinion. Stuttgart, we looked out of place. Even at Venezia, for a large part of the game, we looked completely out of place. Against Cagliari, that second half was absolutely brutal to watch. We looked out of place. So, yeah, I mean, the better the team, the better I think our focus is, which is not a positive thing, by the way, because that is maybe the problem, that these players are getting up for the bigger games, but think that a win or result will come against these easier teams because on paper they should be beating them and they are better. If that's the case, that's even more worrying. But let's see. Let's move on to the starting 11, because again, it's not going to be a very long preview because there was nothing really that was discussed tomorrow. Starting lineup will be the one more interesting points of conversation for tomorrow. Here it is. Oh man, I'm 100% more confident against better side. I'm a bit scared of the Vega signing. It's not an out-and-out defender, and Gatti should be shaky. Exactly, we're always adjusting to the strength of the opponent. So this is the predicted lineup. Di Gregorio on goal, Gatti, Kalulu, again, yeah, there's nobody else. Savona comes back in that team. Cambiasso gets a start. Thuram stays. Locatelli on the bench. Douglas Luiz getting the start, apparently. Colt Miners obviously plays. Timothy Weah comes in that team because Yildiz is injured. Mbangola starts, and no Vlahovic, even though he's ready. He's ready. Nico Gonzalez keeps his place tomorrow, apparently, according to the latest rumors. Now, obviously at the back, the options are what the options are. Yildiz is not 100% after the thing, and McKennie is also not 100%. So it is what it is. It is a big... it is maybe a big risk to bench Locatelli because he already got a rest against Torino, in my opinion. I think he's key tomorrow. I'm not sure and Douglas Luiz is playing for his Juve career. I'm not sure if he's physically ready for what's going to happen tomorrow, in my opinion. Unless Bruges decide to actually sit back and we dominate possession, fine. But if we don't, I'm actually a bit scared how he's going to hold up. Now, my issue with that lineup is two. I think it's a very slow midfield in terms of the way we're going to move the ball. I think that's one. And two, up top, like you miss a lot with Yulis. You miss a lot with a Conceição, like being unpredictable, in my opinion, on a consistent level. Because Mbangula can be unpredictable, but it's not how Yildiz can be unpredictable or like Conceição can be unpredictable. It's more controlled, it's more slow paced, and so on. And that's my issue. I think that midfield is a bit slow in itself with moving the ball tomorrow. However, everybody is with the squad. Only Cabal, Milik, and Bremer obviously are missing. You're gonna need to rotate. Now is the moment to give everybody a shot. I said maybe play Fagioli, whatever. Like everybody needs to get a shot because you need everybody ready, sharp, and fit. It's like injuries are gonna happen, and the next guy up is gonna need to have some minutes under his belt. You cannot come on against Napoli and be like, okay, this is your first start in 10 games. Like that cannot be the case. They're gonna need to play more. Obviously, these type of players, and so yeah, Douglas Luiz gets a start. Probably a lot of you will be shocked that Locatelli gets benched, but we played Saturday, we play tomorrow, we play Saturday again against Napoli. Like the schedule is brutal, and I think even Motta, who by the way at the beginning of the season or earlier on didn't really rotate, is in a point right now, came to a point where it's like, I need to rotate. There's no choice. You're gonna need to rotate. You're gonna need to keep everybody fresh, your best players and also your quote unquote bench squad players. They're gonna need to stay fresh, and you have a chance to do that tomorrow. And hopefully Douglas Luiz and Timothy Weah, who I do not trust when he starts a game, by the way, are going to repay that trust, and they're going to need to show up and they're going to need to make a difference. And other than that, yeah, the team kind of picks itself right now. So I'm sorry, I'm against Savona if we're not rotating. If we are not rotating, let's not rotate. I don't get it. I'm not sure what you mean by that, because we are rotating, because Douglas Luiz is starting. And we are starting. Okay, there's some injuries, but yeah, forced rotation. But yeah, I mean, who else are you gonna play other than Savona? McKennie's not fit, so it is what it is. Why no Loca? It's a rest. It's a rest. I can see them benching Thuram instead of. I can see them benching Thuram instead of Locatelli, and I also think one of Chico and Dusan will start. Nah, maybe Dusan. I don't think Chico will start because he's just back in training today. Like after actually missing the entire of last week, that would be actually insane, in my opinion. Or they lied all week and he wasn't injured past week. Otherwise, there's no way you're gonna start Conceição. I would rest Locatelli as well. He's a heavier body that needs to rest, in my opinion. We need him fresh against Napoli, yeah. But I think everybody was like, okay, he gotta rest against Torino, maybe. But again, Douglas Luiz hasn't played much, so he should be more fresh in the legs. I guess, but you're gonna miss a lot with Locatelli. But still, like, if Locatelli is out for a couple of days, are you gonna throw away those games because Locatelli is not there? So no, like, you need to make it work, and Douglas Luiz is apparently the option that's gonna need to make it work. So yeah, we'll probably try to repeat what we did against Milan in the second half. With this attack, also I hope Thuram will continue to impress. On paper, that's an insane midfield. Yeah, I mean, on paper. Canulu needs some rest also, but we have no center back. Yeah, that's kind of the theme of the channel the last couple of weeks. Like, Gatti, Kalulu, there is no rest. There is no rest, and Giuntoli is just messing about, and now is signing players who they do not actually want at the club, and there are no guarantees, and probably will be out in the summer, or one of them will be out in the summer as well. It's just to be there, and that's shocking, but that's what they're doing right now. They're not convinced by any player, so they're just bringing in a heartbeat. We might see Locatelli and Dusan subbed in on the 60 minute. Go prep for Napoli. I just don't trust Luiz to make the difference. I have no confidence that Douglas Luiz become a key player for this team. He looks like he showed up late to an. Oh Jesus. Yeah, he doesn't look fit. he doesn't look fit. He looks slow. That's why I said, will he hold up tomorrow? But I've also said that about Fajoli against Leipzig, and he was insane, and I was scared when he started, to be honest. But yeah, Douglas Luiz is like, he looks slow. He reminds me more and more of Arthur the way he moves, and that's not a good sign, I guess. I think he's better than Arthur technically. However, he moves extremely slow, like extremely slow. Like it looks like he lost any not just pace, just energy. Like just energy. It's actually crazy because I've watched him in the Premier League and that was just like an energized bunny. And for us, he looks like, I don't know, it looks like he worked in the coal mines for like 3 months straight, and then we asked him to play a football game. He looks that slow. He looks completely off, but it's January. Like, how can you not be fit at this moment in time? So let's see what he will do tomorrow. But he looks like he's always late and he's always not on par with everybody else. Tomorrow's match will be physical. I agree. Douglas Luiz was good against Torino. Calm down, everyone. What? Oh, against Torino. I was like, we played Milan. I thought he was good as well. He got hate against Torino. I wasn't really sure why, to be honest. I thought he was good. But we just got possession. In the second half, we kept possession and it was okay for Douglas Luiz. But if it will be a physical game or a high intensity pace game, which it can become if we go 1-0 up, then it's going to be interesting to see how we will cope with it, because he doesn't look physically completely ready, sharp, which is crazy. Like I said, it's January. I think Luiz needs to start like 4 games in a row to catch the groove. I don't know why. I don't know why he's a new Miretti instead of Douglas Luiz. What? I don't get what you're trying to say, to be honest. Look, explain. Hope Weah isn't played as a false nine. He's most effective wide where we can use his space. I 100% disagree with you. I think he's completely useless on the wing because he doesn't use his space. He doesn't use his. He has a lot of pace. He doesn't use his space to his strength. I don't know. Like he cannot beat a player on the wing. He can, or he's reluctant to do that. He doesn't put in a good cross. I think he's useless on the wing. I really do. Like, he has the pace, but every time I watch him on the wing, I'm like, why? What is the point? Like, you have the pace, but you don't skip past players. You don't get in behind. But when he plays as a 9, in my opinion, he does. He looks more effective when he plays as a 9 than as a wing, because I've not seen him play an effective game strictly on that wing. I don't, and the pace thing, I agree, but he doesn't use it. Or I don't see how we're gonna benefit from Timothy Weah's pace on that wing, because I've not seen it, and it's been 2 years. Like, it's been almost been 2 years. I mean, Luiz is as slow as Miretti. It's fine to be slow, by the way. Pirlo is not fast when he was balling out for us. Again, they're not Pirlo, so I have no issue with a player being slow. Like, I'm like, if you're good at football, you're good at football. If you dictate play, you dictate play. However, that's not really his profile to quote unquote dictate play, in my opinion. From what I've seen in the Premier League, he was high intensity, a lot of energy, and that's completely out of his game right now. That's my issue. The real reason we look good against Milan was Cope. Looks like he's turning his turning point, hopefully. Colomani did practice with the team, but he's not officially a Juve player. Kind of will be a miracle at this pace if he will be ready for Napoli. Cope Miner's hat-trick tomorrow. Damn. You should be putting money on that, because that will be... that the odds on that will be actually insane. Considering what he missed against Milan. Like, there's no way. Pjanic was slow too. Pjanic was slow. But Pjanic was a bastard. Like, he literally was a player you probably would absolutely hate to play against, because he was silky on the ball, but man, when he needed to be tough, he was tough, and he was just a bastard on that pitch. I don't think Douglas Luiz is that right now, or he doesn't look like that. He looks like he's too late, even if he wants to be a bastard, and put in, I don't know, a tackle here and there. It looks like he's always going to be late on that ball right now. We have scored 5 goals this season. Somehow already totally missed this. No, his output has been good, by the way. That's why I said if he's in the box, he's more effective than he's on the wing. If you get him in the box, I'm cool. If you stick him on the wing and you ask him to beat his man and actually create something, it's not happening because I've not seen it happen at all. Ever since he joined us, I've not seen it happening. Like nothing. Like absolutely nothing when he's on that wing. There's not one game when he played on that wing and I came out of that and I was like, wow, good game from Timothy Weah on that wing. Do it again, absolutely balled out. No. And I don't think I will ever. I don't think he will ever convince me. By the way, even if he's scoring goals through the middle. Pirlo was slow, but his stamina was ridiculous. He was always moving and covering ground. Yeah, I mean, that's the bare minimum. If you cannot do that, being Douglas Luiz, then probably going to the Premier League is also not an option. But he just looks slow in his ball handling, in my opinion. So that's why I'm like, if there is going to be pressure tomorrow, it's going to be interesting to see how we cope. Nico and Weah may switch positions during the game. It might, and maybe very early in the second half, a sub will be made, and you will see Jules coming on, or Conceição, or Vlahovic, and he gets subbed, and Nico Gonzalez drops in. I don't know. But I hope there will be some interchanges because I don't want to see this strictly. Also, Nico Gonzalez is going to be a tough game tomorrow for him against the center backs from Bruges. It's going to be physical. He's going to need to be ready for it. He's going to need to be ready to draw some fouls. But your point, they're going to need to interchange. You cannot play man-to-man against the backline or the two center backs of Bruges because Nico Gonzalez is going to lose that game every single day of the week. If that's Vlahovic, fine, and stick him up there, which is not ideal, but okay. Let him be physical, but nah. You cannot, if you ask Nico Gonzalez to actually play 9 and be close to the center backs and try to hold up play that high on the pitch, it's going to be a disaster. He's going to need to drop in, between the lines a lot and draw those players out. And then maybe we can use Timothy Weah's pace, but it's going to be the first time on the wing that he's probably going to get behind into players, in my opinion. Do you see a chance for Fagioli to enter? Yes. I actually said start him, but, Bruges is a physical team, sure. They're going to press. They will press, I think, early on. But if we do what we need to do and keep hold of the ball, they will probably take the foot off the gas a little bit. Nico will have a stinker tomorrow as a 9. Okay, that's not optimistic, but you could be right. I said that he could if he's actually going to play strictly as a 9, and he's going to stand up there and try to hold up play against two center backs very high up the pitch. It's going to be a disaster. It really is going to be. If you draw those defenders out, we can have a lot of space between them, behind them, a lot of space. But let's see tomorrow. I think Vlahovic will be a better option for this game. You might be right. We will see tomorrow. Actually, if we have a player who can hold up play very well, I would 100% agree, because I watched Bruges play Genk last week, and the striker of Genk is a player who can hold up the ball. I think he's like 2 meters almost. You just hoof the ball up to him and he makes it stick 8 out of 10 times. And when I say make it stick, he brings the entire team into play. It's actually ridiculous. And they struggle with that big time in that first half. And they win 1-0 up or 1-0 down with a goal from that player of a cross as well. But he made it stick and he draw the entire backline out, which left acres of space in behind, like acres of space. However, if Vlahovic was that guy right now, perfectly fine. I would agree. But man, like, did you see that Milan game? He couldn't make anything stick. Like, absolutely nothing. That was so bad that if you do that tomorrow, if he plays and he's going to play that type of game and he's going to put in that performance, you're probably going to lose by the first half. You'll probably be down because he's going to lose so many possessions in dangerous areas when team is trying to push on, that it's gonna cost you. So Nico Gonzalez is probably gonna play between the lines. He's not gonna be up there and stick and be stuck. Okay. Prediction time. I've been back and forward with it, but I'm gonna go 1-0. If we concede, I think it's gonna be from a corner or a cross or something like that. But I'm gonna say 1-0. It's gonna be tough, but we need some sort of momentum. Like if you look at the lineup, it's not the most convincing lineup in my opinion. I think we all would have had something different. But there are injuries and we play Napoli, so decisions have to be made. So I'm gonna go 1-0. And right now, I just want to see momentum. You know, a good game, good performance, and some sort of momentum to boost that confidence going into the Napoli game, which we absolutely need to win as well. The Napoli game, we need to win away from Napoli, but that's a discussion for later this week. 3-0, hat trick goal. Put money on it. I say we win 2-0. Boys will take the game seriously. 2-1. I predict a draw tomorrow. Our favorite result of the season. 1-1. 4-0. Oh my god. I don't like. I hope you're right, but yeah, I don't think we're gonna score 4 goals and keep a clean sheet in the process. I think that's far fetched. I hope you're right. I have a good feeling today is Trump's day, and I believe 2-0 Vlahovic and Nico. I'm not gonna discuss that first part. But yeah, 2-0 Vlahovic and Nico. So that means off the bench as well. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Let's see tomorrow. People, hit the like button before you leave the stream. Subscribe to the channel as always. 1-1, 2-1. So now everybody is sold that we are going to go on a winning streak. And why would you? Because the proof suggests that we will not go on a winning streak. Or we can go on a streak, but it's probably the 1-1 type of streak, which you already have seen this season. But yeah, people, I'm going to wrap this one up. I will be back tomorrow, post-game reaction. And let's see what will happen in the meantime, you know, in the transfer window. It was quiet today. It was all talks and all the reports that talks will pick up tomorrow. Let's see what news comes out in about half an hour or so. And then we can have another meltdown, I guess. Who knows which name pop. Because Mirko Di Natale said, do not be surprised if a new name pops up. And at this point, yeah, I will be surprised, you know, which names are out there still. But that's it for me, people. Again, thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a good night. Ciao.